Hello, my name is Gail. Welcome to our Chair Tai Chi class today. It's about an hour long, give or take 3 minutes, one side versus the other. We are going to do a wonderful class today. I hope you enjoy this. So I'm going to stand up, move this chair out of the way. I'll come back up to the front of the room when we are doing our guided rest relaxation portion of our practice. I'm making sure that chair is not in the video. Okay, it's not. Okay, so come back to your seat, wherever that might be today, and we'll start our class. As I was mentioning to Louise, there's different ways to start a class depending on what style of Tai Chi you're teaching. Well, today it's the right fist. So you figure out which one's your right fist. So that's the sun, and the flat left palm, that's the moon. And then we bow down to one another to start our chair Tai Chi class today. Again, welcome. My name is Gail. Welcome to Veterans Yoga Project. Let's start with feeling our feet onto the floor. So basically that means putting a little bit of pressure into the ground, and you're noticing the activation of the quadriceps, tops of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, maybe the bottoms of the feet, stimulating those acupressure points. So just kind of feel grounded. So get out of your head and get into your body by feeling your feet into the floor. Very good. And then next, let's align our spine. So it's like, there's a string on the top of the head and you're pulling up towards the ceiling. So the ears are in alignment with over the shoulders in alignment with the hips. The best that you can do. If you need to have a curvy spine, that's okay too, folks, okay? And then from here, let's breathe down to the Dantian. So the Dantian, you have a belly button and about 2 finger widths, kind of there at the big knuckle. Below that is the center of our Dantian. It's where we collect energy and then we send energy throughout the bodies to help us with health matters. So I'm going to place my hand kind of in the middle of where that 2 inches or 2 finger widths is below my belly button, and the hand above that. For Dantian breathing, or Danjeon breathing as I like to call it, we breathe in, we expand the belly, we expand the chest, and then we contract everything towards our spine. We're more used to chest breathing, so if you don't, feel like you're getting the vibe of the low belly breathing, that's okay. It's a practice. It's not a perfect thing that we're doing today. So let's breathe in, belly out, and then contract the belly button towards your spine. Relax those shoulders too. Let's do that again. Breathe in, belly out, belly button towards your spine. Again, breathe in, belly out, and exhale. Let's do one more. Breathe in, belly out, and exhale. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us to class today. Let's do the Atlas point rotation to soften those neck muscles. We're taking that nose and drawing a circle. You may hear some crunchy, crinkly things when you're doing this. And if this tends to make you feel a little dizzy, what you could do is have your eyes look to the center as you're doing the rotation, letting the nose draw the circle in the air. Again, you're going at your own perfect pace today. I'm going to turn on my watch for the Tai Chi workout. Let y'all know at the end of class the calorie burn, because we do burn calories in this class. It's really quite amazing. And then let's pause and go the other direction. Notice if you feel a little bit more crinkly business going on here when you go in the other direction. Again, go at your own perfect pace today. Keep it between the easy and the ouch. And again, do what you can with what you've got today. It may look different than what I'm doing, and that's okay. Just know that, all right? If you need to take a break or want to wait for the next Tai Chi movement, that's okay too. Because not everything we do will resonate with you, and that's all right. One more time, all the way around. Very good. And then join me back to the center. Next is spread the feathers and bring more blood flow into the brain. So I'm going to spread out the hands like a little starfish. Bring the arm out to the side. Now what I do is I take my thumb and I turn it to the back of the room. So we're activating the lung and the heart meridian when we do that. So let me see if you can see. Yeah, I'm spreading that hand. So I'm going to bring the arm down just a little bit more. I'm going to take my opposite ear, drop it towards my shoulder. And then, if it's available for you today, we're going to take that chin and kind of like do a half of a smile up towards where the wall meets the ceiling. And then bring the chin towards the chest, gently now, and then towards the extended arm side. And then back to the center and release. You may notice a little activation in that upper arm when you do this, because it's quite vigorous to extend the arm, do the other side, and turn that thumb to the back of the room. Arm a little bit lower, it could be a little bit higher. It's whatever feels okay for you today. And again, we're going to take that opposite ear, drop it towards the shoulder, kind of notice that tension that's being held in that extended arm side. Then let's take our chin and curve it up towards where the wall meets the ceiling. And then back down gently towards the chest and towards that extended arm side. And then release everything back to the center. From here, cup those hands and let's do those arm swings. Whew. Again, this is great for kind of lubricating the shoulder joint here today. The next one, tap the top of the shoulders or the back, upper back, whatever you can manage here. This kind of loosens the muscles around the shoulder joints. I love it. A couple more, 2 more, and 1 more. And just kind of make that be a little bit still. From here, bring the hands in front and spin those hands. Loosening wrists, good for that carpal tunnel. Very good. And let's reverse, go the other way. My left one doesn't spin as good as my right one. That's one thing I notice. Notice what you notice, okay? Very nice. And again, I'm sitting kind of away from the back of the chair, so I'm using those tall posture muscles to do the class today. And from here, let's do some shoulder rolls. Some movements to prevent the hump in the neck, strengthening the upper back musculature. And then let's pause and go the other way. The next will be hold the shoulders up towards the ears and turning halfway to the side. So from here, let's go ahead and do that. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears. Keep that upper back musculature contracted and turn halfway to the side. You may notice a lot of tension going on here and release it down. Come back to the center. Let's do the other side again. Shoulders towards your ears. Make it nice and squeezy. And then turn halfway over to the other side. Woo! And then release it down. Very nice. Let's kind of let go of all that energy we kind of built up in the upper back by doing the wild goose flutter hands. Bringing energy into the arms, the wrists, the fingers. Also moving that lymphatic fluid a little bit while we do wild goose flutter. And if you want, maybe go straight out to the side. My range of motion changes when I do that. And then go back to the front. Let's go side to side. One in the front, one to the side. You can look to the side if you like. Again, going at your own perfect pace. Woo! All right, and then go back to in front at an angles. Very nice. And then from here, let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. You might feel some energy or some sensation going on with the hands, the arms after the wild goose flutter. Next is stir arm. So I'm going to shift over to one side of my chair, hand either on my leg or my shoulder, and stir the arm. That's for increasing our range of motion in that shoulder socket, so to speak, yeah? Kind of getting the stiff-osis out. I think that's a word I made up. Whew. I feel a lot of snap, crackle, pops going on here on this left side for me. Again, you're doing what you can do, okay? And then let's reverse, go the other way. Very nice. Woo. And then make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Let's sit up tall, shift over to the other side. If you've got one of those big chairs like I do. And then let that arm dangle, and let's start that arm stir. Again, hand can be on the shoulder. Sometimes that's nice to kind of, guard it here, or maybe resting here on your thigh. Maybe you're hanging onto your chair. That works too, okay? Noticing what you're noticing. So you're comparing that to the first side you did. Notice if there feels to be a little bit of difference, maybe so. And let's reverse. Let's go the other way. So I usually hold one shoulder and then the other one I don't hold. But that's just what I notice, yeah? Very good. Couple more. And then make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Very nice. All right, from here, come back to the center. Let's do the finishing breath. Inhaling, circle, sweep arms up. Hands come down the center, bringing down the ki, the chi, the energy. There's so many things for the same, so many names for the same thing. And next, what we'll do is eagle claw. So let's inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Inhale, back to your chest. Squeeze that shoulder a little bit. Open up the palm. Exhale, push it forward. This is to increase mobility. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. Now we open and close 5 times. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waist. Other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Eagle claw. Exhale, sky high. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up that hand. Spread out those fingers. Exhale, press it forward. Very nice. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. You can look at it too if you like. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waistline. Other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up. Exhale, forward. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. Last time. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last time that side. Let's do one more. Other side. Inhale, fist to chest. Exhale, sky high. Reach, reach, reach. Inhale, back to your chest. Open up that hand. Exhale, push it forward. Very nice. Inhale, back to your chest. Exhale, out to the side. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it back to your waistline. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up, and then bring down cupped hands in front of you. From here, we're going to be having the hands cupped. We're going to do, what's it called? Well, I forget what it's called, but it's our opening our breath. We're going to inhale, elbows up, and then exhale, curve the spine. And again, inhale, up, spinal cord breathing. Exhale, curve that spine. So it's extension and flexion of the spine, kind of like cat-cow. Inhale, elbows up, chest forward, elbows flare out. Exhale, curve that spine. Go nice and slow if this is spicy for the pelvis. And again, inhale, elbows up. Exhale to the center. Now let's turn over to a side, shall we? So here we go. Inhale, elbows up. Coming back to the center, exhale. Other side. Inhaling, elbows up. Woo. Exhale, back to the center. Let's do one more to the center. Here we go. Elbows up, up, up. Exhale. Let's do that. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And bring down the chi. All right, from here, we're going to do lighthouse, as if, we're a lighthouse and we're, doing light all around the Gulf or the coastline, yeah? So from here, again, cupped hands, and we're turning to the side and then reaching out. Elbows are bent a little bit and back to the center. And again, turn, reach out, and then back to the center. Once again. So we're stimulating the internal organs when we do this, the spleen, the pancreas, the liver, the kidneys. So this is good. This is, healing movement, nice, slow movement to help with our internal organs. And let's do one more all the way around. And then we're going to pause at the center. From the center, let's just go ahead and shake it up. We'll do the other side in just a second. So we're doing our shaking gong right now. You can lift your heels up if you like. Bring it down. Bring it up. Turn to the side. Turn to the other side. And then bent elbows, flap those wrists, palms up. Very good. Little lymphatic drain just there. Going back to our lighthouse. You may feel some sensation going on with the arms, the hands, after we did that little shaking gong. So inhaling, turn, exhale, reach out. Other side. Inhaling, bring it back to the center. Again, turning from the quad, from that hip crease, reaching out and coming back to the center. Again, bring it outwards and in. Go at your own pace now, okay? Maybe I'm a little too fast or a little too slow. I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. Let's do 2 more after this one. And 1 more. Here we go. Woo. And then from here, let's do that finishing breath. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Very nice. So we're going to do a little different detoxing method today. So basically clap the hands. Get some heat going on here. And then let's raise an arm up. And you either can make a fist or cup the hand into the armpit. Bring it down the side body to that hip. Bring it to the center and bring it up the center. Now, we're going to move my hair out of the way. We're going to go to the shoulder. Turn the palm up and bring it down the inside of the arm. Turn the palm down, go to the outside of the arm. Here we go. Stay here in that shoulder. You can do a fist, a cupped hand, and then let's slop off that excess energy. Sweep it away. Very good. Clap the hands again, or maybe for the first time. I can't remember. And let's bring the other arm up and go to the armpit. Again, another variation of doing our qigong detox. Bring it down to the hip, to the center. Bring the arm down a little bit, up the center, and then go to the shoulder a little bit. And then palm up, bring it down the inside. Turn the palm down, go to the outside of the arm, bring it up the side of the arm, bone to bone. Stay here in that shoulder a little bit. Woo, love it. Or maybe a fist. And then let's sweep that excess energy away. Very good. Clap the hands. Rub some heat back into the hands. Very good. So let's do legs. So I'm going to take my leg out to the side here. And ooh, this is very tight. Is your calf tight too? Toes towards you. And again, I'm kind of sitting here near the edge of my chair. And you may feel a contraction of your calf, your hamstring, which is the back of the leg, the quadricep, maybe some spiciness. You can always bend that knee a little bit. Be sure to still flex that heel, toes towards you. Very good. You might be feeling it a little bit in the kind of the hip complex. Now, let's point the toes away. Now I'm on carpet here, so it's not like a, it's sometimes easier to be on a wooden or vinyl floor with this next movement. So we'll pump the calf. So this is to prevent foot cramps, improve ankle flexibility, and of course, the calf in traditional Chinese medicine is considered to be the second heart. And so we're returning blood flow from the lower extremities back to the heart. Plus it's a little bit of lymphatic drainage too, yeah? Again, on the carpet here, it's not moving very much, but I can feel my calf getting that pump. And then let's bring it in. Let's do the other side. So bring the other leg out. Again, flex that back of that heel, toes towards you. Notice if it feels different this side versus the other. Does it feel tighter? Is there some, things that feel different in the body? So Tai Chi and yoga is famous for bringing more body awareness. So it takes a bit sometimes, yeah? Now, point the toe away. Ooh. That's what you noticed. Was there a snap, crackle, pop that went on? Maybe, yeah. And let's do that point and flex. So here we go. So this is also a blood glucose lowering technique to pump the calves. After you've had a meal, maybe you don't walk immediately. You can just pump the calves for a bit, yeah? All right. Pointing and flexing helps strengthen the knees and the surrounding tissues, so that's a good thing too. Very nice. And bring it in. Let's scoot to the back of our chair. We're going to do some foot rotations and points and flexes seated on the chair. So you can bring your hands underneath, lift the leg up, and again, point and flex. So it might be a little bit more range of motion, it being in the air, as opposed to resting on the back of the heel. we're just kind of experimenting with different styles to do the same thing. Again, this helps with lessening knee and low back pain. The feet are very interconnected to our chain of what's going on with our bodies. And then just let it relax a little bit. We're going to take that foot and turn it inwards. So do those ankle rotations. Try to isolate from the ankle. Try not to have the whole leg do it, although sometimes, that's like impossible, yeah? Depending on what's going on with you, yeah? Maybe a lot of snap, crackle, pops. You may be going, ooh, hello, shin. And then reverse. Oh, my foot just popped. Maybe I was quiet enough and you can hear it. Maybe not. And other side, raise up. And so why do we do this in Tai Chi? Well, because we're preparing for having less falls, better balance. Yeah. So again, working the feet is very integral in making that happen. All right, from here, pause and draw the circle inward. Very good. Little talking of the ankle bones here. And then reverse. Notice there's a little data dropout going on, so you'll get a recording of the class. So if you missed out on anything, it'll be in that recording, all right? And it's just of me, nobody else in the room. And release that. All right, clap the hands, come forward a little bit. Get some heat going on here. Come on, let's rub it. And then let's transfer this heat to our knees. Ooh, that feels nice. And reverse. And let's just go ahead and tap the outside of the knees. That's that gallbladder meridian. Also to help with lessening knee pain. And then a little bit less vigor, the inside, the stomach meridian. So it might feel a little spicy on the inside because we're not used to tapping on the inside. Very nice. Clap the hands again. Okay, I may have to scoot back a little bit on this one. Let me go ahead and do that. We're going to do some foot patterns, and then we'll, again, work some more with the shoulders. So we're going to bring a leg forward, out to the side, forward to the chair. Again, forward, other side, out to the side, forward to the chair. Now we're going to add some knee bending with this next one. So forward to the side. Now we're going to draw it in 3 times. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. Other side. Here we go. Forward, way out. Now again, draw it in 3 times. You can use your hand to guide you. 3, 2, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. Let's do the other side. Let's add on to 5. So here we go. Forward, way out, draw it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. Other side, here we go. Way out to the side. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Way out, forward to the chair. From here, inhale, circle, sweep arms up, and bring down the chi. Very nice. From here, let's kind of stomp those feet a little bit. And then alternate heels up and down. Very good. And shake the legs out side to side. Very nice. From here, nice tall posture. And we're going to lift the knee, clap underneath. Now, if that's not available today, you basically tap the side of the knee. So whatever you can do. Clap under the leg. That's for your hip to increase cardio. Let's do a couple more. Very good. 2 more. 2 and 1. Very nice. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Let's do a little bit of brain work here. So we'll take a opposite elbow up and bring the opposite foot forward and then switch. It's called cross crawl. You may have to lean back a little bit. You're going at your own perfect pace. Maybe you're just doing the feet. That works too. Again, brain work, a little bit of core work going on here too. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Stomp those feet. Hang on to the chair. Shake those legs. Very nice. Next is sumo stomp. So sumo stomp is where we take the leg out to the side and stomp and bring it back in. So that's actually like the slide version of it. Do the other one, slide it out and bring it in. But maybe you can bring it up and stomp it down. Maybe you can do that with your own strength, or maybe you need the hand underneath. Let's do the other side. Stomp it out, stomp it in, and again, out, bring it in, and out, and bring it in. Next is sumo ruckus. So this is a little different. This is where we get to kind of like verbalize a little bit if you want to. So basically, we go hi-ya when we bring the knee up, hi-ya and huh, hi-ya and huh. You aren't used to that, are you? Let's do it again. Hi-ya and huh, hi-ya and huh. Again, hi-ya and huh, hi-ya and huh. One more. Hi-ya and huh, hi-ya and huh. Very nice. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Very good, very good. From here, let's take a hand across the body. Breathe in. Stretch that side body. Exhale out to the side. Swallow flies to the nest, by the way. Inhale up and over. Maybe you hang onto the chair. And then exhale, bring it out in front. And then bring it back to the center. Switch sides. Inhaling, bring it across. Exhale out to the side. Inhaling up and over. And exhale, land it in front. Let's do the poem with that. Swallow flies east. Breathe in. Swallow flies west. Breathe out. Swallow flies up and over. Breathe in. And exhaling, lands in its nest. Back to center. Again, swallow flies east. Swallow flies west. Swallow flies up and over. And lands in its nest. Once again, breathe in, bring it across. Exhaling out to the side. Inhaling up and over. And exhaling. Back to the center. Once again, inhale, bring it across. Exhaling out to the side. Inhaling up and over. And exhale. Come back to the center. Let's do that finishing breath. Inhaling up. And bring down the chi. Very nice. Let's do Parry. We're going to draw circles inward, shifting weight from one bun to the other. So I like to call it wipe the table, but a lot of people say this is wax on, wax off. So we're kind of getting into the side body musculature when this happens. Burping and other things can happen because you're stimulating the stomach, the colon, the intestines. So air can happen. I'm just going to put that out there. Air happens. This is the air happening pose. It can be. Let me just put it that way. And then we're going to pause and then wipe it out. Very good. You might find one side wipes a little bit more out than the other. Just notice what you notice once again. All right, now let's bring this horizontal like we're wiping the windows, okay? So wipe it out. Please come to my house, wipe my windows, please. Here in Southeast Texas, you know, we get that green stuff on the windows, on the brick. Oh my gosh. All right, and then let's switch it. Let's wipe it in. Ooh, we got to switch directions when we do this. Switch how we're working in our bodies. Now maybe you want to make fists and bring the elbows in across a little bit. And that's okay if you keep to the original thing that we were doing. Maybe feel a little snap, crackle, pops of your spine. And let's bring it back down in front of us, wiping it in. And make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Very good. From here, as if you were holding a ball. Let's take the ball, hand on top, hand on bottom, and then switch. This is called Seek the Pearl. So if you're allowed to twist, maybe you can twist over to one side and then twist over to the other. Otherwise, keep it to the center. And if you need to keep your eyes looking forward to lessen kind of dizzy issues, sometimes, turning side to side can bring a little equilibrium shift. All right, and then make it smaller, smaller, and smaller. Let's take that same ball and draw a sideline number 8. Whew. Again, you're kind of noticing, well, maybe one side is more spicy than the other, maybe not. And let's pause and take it the other direction. Whew. Very good. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. From here, clap the hands. And just bear with me here. Take your one warm hand, just kind of rub on that shoulder a little bit. Yeah. Maybe we've done a lot for the shoulders today. Yeah. And then go back to the center once again, clap the hands. Create a little bit of heat here. And the next step is go over to the other shoulder. So a little bit of warming heat on the other shoulder. Very nice. Let's do monkey stretch. We're going to extend the leg out. We're pointing the toe. Whatever leg we have put out there, same side arm is on that leg, and then the other hand grabs at that wrist. And then let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, float it down, bring that leg in. Let's do the other side. So rest on the back of the heel, point that toe, hand on the leg, wrist grabs that other hand or the hand on the leg, and then inhaling up, monkey stretch. Exhale, float it down. Let's do the other side. Bring that leg in, extend that leg, point the toe softly, hand on the leg, grab the wrist, inhaling up, exhaling, float it down. Bring that leg in. Last time. Here we go. Extend that leg out. Point that toe softly. Hand on the leg. Grab the wrist. Inhaling up. Exhale. Float it down. Bring the leg in. Let's do that finishing breath. Inhale. Circle. Sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Very good. Next is Young Man Praise. So this one is where we kind of do the top of the wrists. They kind of look like duck hands or duck heads. So we'll have our hands down here beside our legs, and we'll go inhale, top of the wrist, come up. Very good. Exhale, palms up, sweep forward, and then palms together, palms up, palms towards your chest, and then separate the palms out and float the arms down. Let's do that again. Inhale, wrist, fingers together. Sorry, I need to add one. Exhale, push it away. I forgot that one. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, once it points up towards your chest, and then away, bring it out and down. Let's do that again. Inhaling up. Exhale, push it away. Inhale, bring the back of the fingers together, and then palms together towards our chest, and then bring it away, out and down. I'm adding on to it. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale, push it away. Now, kind of like a cat back, fingers point towards one another, and then make a circle. Bring the hands together towards the sky, towards your chest, towards the sky, towards away, out and down. Let's do that one more time. Here we go. Inhale up. Exhale, push it away. Let's curve the spine, fingers point towards one another, and then kind of swoop out, and then together, hands towards the sky, towards your chest, sky, point it outwards, bring it out and down. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up, finish the breath. Exhale, bring down the chi. Very good. Let's bring those ankle bones together, and let's do our jitterbug. So we heel toe out to the side, maybe twist the upper body, and again, ankles together as best you can. We're isolating that ankle joint. You may notice one side is a little bit stronger than the other. And bring it back in. Let's do one more cross. One more to the center. One more out to the other side. And meet me back here at the center. Very good. Let's do heels out, toes in. And then you can hang on to the chair or just have your hands resting here. And walk them independently out and independently in. Again, out and in. And you're going to notice there's one more strong than the other. Yeah. Whew. And in. One more time, bring it in. And one more time, bring it out. Then all the way in. From here, stomp those feet. And then come up on the balls of the feet. Shake the legs. Shake that tension out of the legs. And stomp the feet again. Very good. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Bring down the chi. Very nice. Now we're going to scoot forward on our chair. I'm going to try to do this. I don't know if it's going to work, but sometimes we do this in standing Tai Chi. Sometimes we do this seated. So basically, we kind of wrap. I don't know how that's going to work, seated in the chair. You have arms in the chair. You're basically slapping your kidneys, your stomach a bit. Then you bring it up, chest, upper back. And then bring it down a little bit low. And then back to your hips, your stomach. And make it slower, slower, and slower. Very good. Whew. From here, let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And make fists, bring them down. Nice. From here, let's, again, clap the hands. Little heat into the hands. Let's do our big six. So with the heat of the hands, let's kind of stroke across one of our collarbones. So this addresses, let me think here, the stomach, the kidney, and the lung meridian. The stomach is near the center, the kidney is in the center, and out here near your shoulder is the lung. So it's above and below the collarbone. And let's take it over to the other side. Again, you can tap or you can stroke it across. This is to increase lymphatic flow, to get those toxins out of our body, that puffiness, that excess that we hold. Yeah. Let's lessen our brain fog by doing fingers in front and in back of the ear. So you bring it down the neckline and you bring it down the jawline. And make sure the fingers are getting here to the back also, because there's lots of lymphatic stuff going on in that kind of little, what is it, the bottom of the head, the occiput, I think they call it. I'm sure I'm not saying that right. I have a nurse in my class earlier, and, of course I mispronounced things, and she corrects me. So there you go. All right, so area number 3 is the armpit. So you take your thumb, you make sure you're getting into the pectorals in front, right? And then you kind of squeeze, or you can tap, 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 or rub. Breast cancer, men and women, they check these lymph node areas to see if it's moved to these lymph nodes, that cancer. So let's flush it out, shall we? You want a pit, not a puff. In other words, kind of a little holla going on here in your armpit. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Again, you can kind of squeeze and rub. You don't have to be dramatic with tapping, or you can tap it, or you can take a fist, softly pound. Now, before we move to the ribs, we're going to thump our thymus. We haven't done that in a while. So you find your collarbone, you go down about 2 or 3 inches below that, and you thump your thymus. So once we hit about 30, we start to have less T cell production. So this helps boost our immunity physically with this tapping of that gland. Okay. Notice if it feels tender. Now maybe you do it a little bit less strenuous. Okay. Again, you try to do this for about a minute each day. Each of these areas, we're doing a sampler today. Try to do a minute at each location. I know, that's a time commitment, yeah? All right, let's move to find our ribs. And so this is the spleen meridian here, kind of at the curve of the ribs. And what I like to do is I do a little extra. I take my fingers here in the center and I pull across on that diaphragm. So if I kind of have like compromised or challenged breathing, sometimes my diaphragm is stuck up underneath those ribs, and this little bit of massage helps me a little bit. And then the next part is to attack your torso. Maybe you're chopping, maybe you're slapping, maybe you're doing fists, maybe you're rubbing. So whatever you can do here. So this, according to traditional Chinese medicine, your gut is considered to be your second brain. So let's get rid of it, yeah? Not get rid of our brain, but to help, stimulate the lymphatic flow here. Okay, now, like we did in Sumo Stomp, our legs are out. Where that leg inserts into the torso, that little inguinal crease, it's called the qua. We chop the qua. This is the area where they check, did the cancer spread to this area for men that have prostate cancer. It could probably also be for uterine cancer, ovaries, because this is kind of like where the lymph node nests are next to major male, female internal organs, yeah? All right, now let's bring the feet in, maybe the feet a little forward, sit up tall, maybe hinge forward, take the fingers back behind the knees and give it a good little rub. Now the side of the hands into the side of the knees again for lessening that knee pain. This helps with swelling in the ankles, edema in the feet, the ankles. So you work the areas 1 through 6 to help get all the stuff from the high pressure to the low pressure area, okay? So here we go. Very good. I think we need to do teacup and maybe one other, and then we'll do our guided rest and relaxation portion of our class along with that gratitude practice. So for teacup, very good. We're going to do a palm up, and we bring that palm kind of to our, the side ribs and the elbow back behind us, and we hinge forward. We bring the elbow out to the side and hide the hand behind you. So the objective is don't spill your tea. So you lean out to one side, you bring the arm out the opposite side, look to see the palm up, and you bring it low, and maybe you have to lean back as you circle it and bring it back to the center. Did you spill your tea? Let's do that again. So bring it back behind you, hand to the armpit basically, and then turn the elbow out, hide it behind you. You're hinging forward here, and then go out to the side, opposite side of that arm extended. So here it is. Look at it if you need to. Palm up, bring it low, maybe lean back, belly button tight, and swirl it back to the center. Woo! Let's do that again. So hinge forward, hand to the armpit, elbow out, hand behind you, hide that hand, lean out, palm up. So here we go. Bring it low and back behind you. Very good. Do the other side. So palm up. We got to figure out, can we do it on the other side? Bring it to your armpit. You're hinged forward a bit. And goes out to the side. Hide your hand. Lean out the opposite side of the arm. Extend. And then you're going to bring it low. Lean way back. Palm. And bring it back around. Ooh, very nice. So turn the palm to the back of the room. Very good. And then hide the hand. Lean out. Hand out to the side, bring it low, lean into it, and bring it back to the center. Again, to the armpit, bring it back behind you, hide the hand out to the side, and do your circular movement. And we'll do that one more time. So here we go. So out to the side, Hide it behind you, lean it out, and go low. Very nice. Back to the center. Inhale, circle sweep up, and bring down the chi. Very nice. I'm going to come up to the camera a little bit. We're going to do some of our hand tapping sequence on this next part. So let me get here in the camera. Come up a little bit here. From here, let's tap the pinky side. So this is for lessening headaches and vertigo. Breathing in, breathing out. And you try to do these about a minute each. Again, we're doing a little sampler here today. Very nice. Next is that interweb of the hands. That's for aiding digestion, nausea. So let's tap, tap, tap. You've got bracelets on or rings. You may hear some little jingling going on. Yeah. You can kind of hear my hands on my hands. And then flip it, go the other way. So here we go. Tap, tap, tap. Breathing in, breathing out. Excellent. Now let's go into the interwebs of the fingers now. Be cautious of the rings, okay? So this is for pain or numbness in the limbs. And again, if you got rings, they're probably doing this little clanky noise. Clank, clank, clank. Yeah. And then make it still. Wiggle the top finger and then switch the other finger to be on top. That usually like fires up my brain going, what? That doesn't feel normal. You normally interlace your fingers the standard way. And when you do the other one on top, it's like, it kind of throws you off a little bit. Yeah. Kind of weirds you out. Next, we'll do the pulse points at our wrists. That's for cardiovascular heart issues. Okay, so here at that pulse point, you can do it like this, but I like to go kind of up and down here. Some folks will place their hand on the leg and tap. So you kind of do you. Okay. My daughter-in-law gave me a new wristband, my watch, and it shakes, makes more noise than the other one. So I'm noticing that. Let's flip it and do the other one. Do the other direction. Very nice. So kind of like when we swung the arms, we cupped the hands, and in the Lighthouse we cup the hands also. We cup the hands as we tap the top of the hand. So that's for osteoarthritis, for back pain. Now if you got ring, maybe you want to cup it a little bit more so you're not like tapping a ring on top of the hand. And some folks will put their hand down and tap, but I find that I'm too vigorous. I like to do it in the air. Makes a nice little sound. Let's do the other side. Again, if you got a ring, cup it a little bit more and commence tapping. This little hand tapping sequence. Again, for osteoarthritis, for lessening back pain. Now we're going to shift it to the wrists. So that's for neck and shoulder pain. So here we go. Again, cup it if you got that ring kind of in the way. So we did a new one today, Young Man Praise, and Sumo Ruckus, where we added vocalization. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's kind of weird, right? Of course. Do the other back of the wrist. Here we go. And I got my watch here, so I'm kind of more on the back of the hand than the back of the wrist. Let's make a little fist here and punch the palm. That's for stress, anxiety, improves clarity, consciousness. Plus you also will notice which one is more strong than the other? Yeah? whatever pattern you need to do here, yeah? Let's do the other one. Here we go. Notice what you notice. Woo. This one makes a different sound. Let's clap the hands. Put a little heat on those hands because, man, we kind of really work those hands today. We're going to do the jet lag technique, or, you haven't gotten a good night's sleep technique, or if you've been traveling between time zones. So I'm going to scoot back in my chair just a little bit to do this one. And basically, we're going to pick an armpit. You choose which one. I usually do the left one because it's connected to the heart. So you rub one armpit. So rub one armpit. You do this for about 20 seconds. I've got my list here on the side here. It gets into those lymph nests. Again, doesn't matter which pit, but I do the left one because it's connected to the heart. So in reflexology, we can stimulate hands, we can stimulate feet, we can stimulate ears. So our body is represented in all three of those areas. But today we're going to do the ears. We've done this before. So it's ear pulling. So we're going to pull down on the ears. You might hear better. So again, ear reflexology to see what areas this is addressing, the physical places in our body. Yeah. And then go to the middles and pull out. Definitely can hear better. It's like I'm clearing my spaceship tubes. I think that's what they're called. And then pull up. Yeah. So we do this 3 times. Pull down, pull out, pull up. Let's go back to the pull down. So pull down. So you know how they tell us, don't put a Q-tip in your ear because you're going to make your wax get impacted, blah, 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 all that stuff, right? And then pull out. But oftentimes people aren't actually doing the Q-tip in the ear to get wax out. They're subconsciously Q-tip in their ear because it makes them feel better. So notice that this has a similar feeling, yeah? And then pull up. Woo! And release. We got to do one more set. So here we go. Pull down. Of course, if you have earrings in, you're playing on and then pull out. Are your ears warm now? They should be. And then up. Pull up. Very good. So the next part in this jet lag technique is to, let's see, I think I'm looking at my list here, to rub the scalp. So this relaxes the entire body. So I'm going to take my glasses off when I do this. So move my hair a little bit. And so kind of like you go up and down like the mullet line. So get into your hair, get into your scalp. I know it's going to ruin the hairdo. So if you don't want to do this, this is okay too. You can tap the head instead. So I know when, you get your hair washed at the hairdresser, they're going in here and they know about how nice this feels for the body. Relaxes the body. Except that you have to put your hair back into a basin. And that's kind of like counterintuitive. Do I have wild hair yet? I do. Now then you take it to the sides. Go along from the, in front of the ears to the back of the head. And you kind of overlap in the back. Okay, and then kind of mush your hair a little bit. The next thing that we're going to do is clap the hands, rub some heat. If you have glasses to do this, kind of really get into it. You take the glasses off. You take these warm palms, cup them over your eyes, relax those shoulders, lean into your chair, breathe in, breathe out. Notice the tingling might be happening in the head. Again, breathe in, breathe out. And as you're here, maybe rest your hands in your lap as we do our guided rest and relaxation. So we'll do what's called non-sleep deep rest. So I invite you to bring your awareness to the crown of your head. So you bring your attention, your awareness to the top of the head, and then let's move it all the way down to the tips of the toes. Notice both sets of toes. Notice the bottoms of the feet, the heels, the shins, and the calves at the same time. And then shift your attention to the knee joints, noticing the front of the knees and the back of the knees at the same time. And then bring your awareness to the upper legs. So notice the top of the legs, the quadriceps. Notice the back of the legs, the hamstrings. Again, your eyes can be closed or gazing at the floor. All you have to do is listen to the voice here for the non-sleep deep breaths. It's going. And then shift your attention from the legs to your hip joints. Notice your hip joints. Let's notice the front of the hips and the back side in the buttocks. So notice both the front and the back side of the body at the same time. Good. Let's move it to the area of the navel and the mid-back. So notice both the navel and the mid-back at the same time. Just notice what you notice there. Good. Now let's shift it to the heart and kind of like the in between the shoulder blades and the back side of the body. Notice both places in the body at the same time. Nice. And then shift your attention to the top of the shoulders. And let's notice now in the upper arms, the front and the back side of the upper arms on both sides of the body. Shifting your attention now to the elbow joints, notice kind of the front and the elbow pit on both sides of the body. Shifting your attention now to the forearms, all around the forearms, both on the left and the right side of the body. Then those wrists, the palms and the back of the hands, both hands. Now bring all of your awareness, all of your attention to your thumbs, index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and lastly, those pinky fingers. From those pinky fingers, shift your attention to the base of your throat and the back of your neck. Moving all that attention, that awareness to your jawline, your chin, the lower lip, the upper lip, the very tip of the nose, the top of the nose in between the eyebrows. Shift your attention to your forehead. And once again, back to the crown of the head. And at this point, we'll do what's called the elongated breath. We breathe in to a count of 4. I will clap my hand 4 times, and then we'll make it longer, count of 5. Do what you can though, okay? And just think about as you breathe in, you're bringing in healing sunlight. It's saturating every cell in your body. And as you exhale, you're letting go of what no longer serves you today. So let's begin. Breathe in. Let that sunlight saturate every cell in your body, and then exhaling. Everything, let it go. And again, breathe in that sunshine. And then exhale everything out. Here we go. Big breath in. Here we go. Make a sound as you exhale. And just sit here for a moment, drawing the chin towards the chest, hands in your lap. Think about one thing that you're grateful for today, or maybe an idea of gratitude. Let's shift our hands from our lap to our heart center. Gather whatever you're grateful for, bring it into your heart center. Good. From here, lift your chin to look forward, flutter those eyes open, come away from the back of the chair, let those knees be a little bit wide, So we're going to come back into our body before we do our ending sayings. So draw an upper body circle with those shoulders. Just kind of notice how this feels kind of in the midsection of the body. Might be a little spicy. Go slower if you need to. And then let's pause and go the other way. Very good. Again, welcoming yourself back into your body with just a little bit of movement. Just a little. One more all the way around. And then we'll come up to a tall seated place, tall seated mountain pose. Hang on to your shins, your knees. Let's curve to the back of the room. Let's do that seated cat pose and just kind of peel the muscles away from the spine. And very slowly come up to a tall place. Sometimes that's spicy, so go slower. And then we're going to hinge forward for our cow or our forward fold. So we're doing a little extension and flexion of the spine here. Go back to tall seated mountain. Very good. One more time. Curve your spine to the back of the room or the back of the chair. Hang on. I love it. Come slowly back up to a neutral pelvis or tall seated mountain pose. Now from here we're going to change it up a little bit. Hinge forward a little bit. Let's take an opposite shoulder, hands on one leg. Opposite shoulder leans toward those hands. So it's a little bit of an assisted upper body twist. Not much. Keep it sweet. And then come back to heart center. And then take the hands over to the other leg. Take that opposite shoulder, lean it towards that opposite knee. Kind of bend those elbows. Draw yourself into that posture. Very nice. And then back to the center. Very good. So I'll say our traditional sayings to end our class, and we'll first take that fist, that right fist, that's the sun, and that flat left palm, that's the moon, and bow down to one another in respect in our chair Tai Chi class. This concludes our practice of chair Tai Chi. Let me stop the recording, and let me come up to the front of the room.